How now, brown cow? Spreading the good word on good work in crypto. My name is Tim. I'm out here right now in the On Nut Fresh Mart in the On Nut neighborhood of Bangkok. And I'm here with my buddy Adam. I met Adam a couple of months ago at a pop-up city called Edge City in Chiang Mai. And we've been pals ever since, talking and sharing about a lot of different things about crypto. Yeah, he's a researcher. And would you like to give an introduction?
Yeah, sure. So I'm a researcher. I've worked in crypto the last few years, also doing some product consulting. I helped launch the Safe Grants Council last year. Now I'm doing some indie research, and in the past I worked for products in the consumer crypto space, focusing on performance tracking and tax and basic analytics about your accounts.
Cool. I understand that you do a lot of contributions to the Safe ecosystem and you do a lot of research for the team. So I'm just curious for the audience and listeners out there, how would you describe Safe in one sentence?
That's a good question. So I think Safe is...
You only got one sentence.
Safe is a way to own all of your digital accounts in one place as easily as possible.
Instead of one sentence, would you care to elaborate on how everyday Joe Schmoes like me might use Safe?
The great thing about Safe is that it's a way to get set up and own. Probably your first start is going to be owning digital assets. So you want a way to know that you own everything and have full control, and can also use some basic security features that you're probably already familiar with. Things like having multiple forms of authentication, being able to recover your accounts, and then being able to upgrade it to do many more things as well.
Is it like a wallet, like MetaMask or like Trezor or Ledger? How might an everyday user actually interact with Safe? You say multi-factor authentication, but what does that really mean for a user?
So it's a great way to think about it. It's very similar to a typical wallet or account that you might use on your phone or on your web browser like Firefox or Brave, Chrome. You can store all of your assets, all of your digital accounts across Ethereum, across many of the layer 2s and just other networks that you've probably heard about as well. And in terms of your question about like multi-factor authentication, so like if you're going into, let's say, like your retirement account, your checking accounts, and you sign into like Fidelity, then a lot of times they're gonna ask you to access another passcode to sign in. So that's where the multi-factor name comes in from, since the second source of authentication. So that might be like an email or a separate app, like a YubiKey, or sometimes even like SMS text code, even though that's not the most secure.
So someone would set up a Safe for their crypto wallets, and if they want to sign or authorize a transaction, Safe is a product or some application that you can use in order to set up like multiple authorization points in order to have a transaction go through in crypto. Is that what I'm understanding here?
Right, so you can access it on any device. So you can access it on your computer, laptop, and then on iPhone, Android as a normal application. So everything has a really well-designed UX. The team is constantly improving. When I started looking at Safe a couple of years ago, sometimes there were features that like you had to really know like the technical side in order to be able to access them. Whereas now, like everything is really user-focused, and how is it built into the front end first? So
cool. So making it easier and easier for everyday users to actually sign up and start using Safe.
Exactly.
I understand with Safe, you can also do recovery. First of all, tell me, what does that mean? And then like, how does Safe help with recovery?
Right. So like the first part is obviously really important, like making sure you don't have like one point of failure in terms of like authenticating. For example, I used to use LastPass, and their entire, all of the user data, passwords, usernames, everything got hacked. So if I didn't have multi-factor set up for that, then I would have been completely cooked.
You would have been wrecked.
Right. So like once I have multi-factor, the next step, as you're saying, is like recovery. And that's always good to think about. Like we've all like seen kind of like the natural disasters recently, like in California with the wildfires. Even if you did have, let's say, like a backup recovery password stored safely in your house, there's no guarantee you have access to that. Or for example, many years ago with like the COVID pandemic, a lot of businesses shut down. So like if you stored it like in a bank safety deposit box, the bank could be closed for 2 weeks.
Right.
you and I were both from North America. We have access to a lot of tools and good banking access, but yeah, other parts of the world, there's all sorts of things that we're not even familiar with where things can be closed. So yeah, recovery is really important. And with Safe, you can set up a recovery system that you're most comfortable with. You don't have to rely on one person or one company. When you set up a safe and you create your own access to that safe, you can say like, okay, let me have an account, and you can either store it in a different geographic location. So if you have like friends or family members that you trust, you could have essentially account stored there either offline or online in case of you losing one of your access points to that account. Oh, almost died.
Almost died. This is in the case of like if someone loses their seed phrase, basically, right? Is that like
that's
how I should
one
be
of
thinking
them.
about it?
There's lots of different cases. So like, let's say like, for instance, when I was living in Medellin, I was running a lot, and if let's say I had a MetaMask on my phone and there's like a lot of stones and stuff, and I tripped and fell and smashed my phone while running in Medellin.
Or someone stole it.
Or that too, yeah. There's a range of dangers out there. So yeah, if I smashed my phone and let's say that MetaMask was one approval account on my safe, then depending on how many other approval accounts I have access to, then I might need access to a recovery. So I might need to access one of those other recovery sources.
And so by having a safe with multiple recovery options, you can like engage with whatever options you've set up for yourself in order to get access back into your safe account, so that you can ensure and guarantee that you can still sign and authorize and just continue to do stuff on chain, basically, right?
Exactly. And we talked about like, okay, how to set up access for yourself on like another device or another password that's just stored on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
But like in my example, let's say I'm in Medellin and like, okay, I have, let's say, a recovery account on a piece of paper in someone's house in their vault. That doesn't do me much good in Medellin because I still have to fly back, 6 hours. That's where social recovery is another option to think about. So with Safe, you can give access to someone who's already using their crypto account. So let's say you have like a safe where you need 3 approvals out of 5 to confirm anything on chain or finalize anything on your wallet or account. Then you can give someone one or multiple of those approvals as like a recovery option. So that way, let's say I'm in Medellin and you're one of my recovery accounts.
Like you as in like me, the person.
Yeah, let's say you as a person are one of my recovery accounts. Then I can call you up and say like, hey Tim, I just smashed my phone. Like I'm going to request that my old account is removed and that you add this other account that I specify. So I can actually create the transaction. So all you have to do, maybe you're just new to crypto, so like all that stuff I just described to you sounds kind of scary.
It's like alien.
Yeah, I can essentially just go into the Safe app and say, hey, remove my old account, add a new one that I have access to, and all you have to do is just sign in, hit approve, and you just save me 6-hour flight to recover my account.
Which is pretty valuable as a service to think about as an option to have for your, even just anything to do with crypto.
100%. For any individual, they should definitely have, security plan, different forms of authentication, as well as different recovery plans. Just think through like some of the situations, like my lifestyle is probably a little bit different than everyone else's living in different parts of the world, but even so, just like different scenarios that can happen and what your game plan would be for those scenarios, because no solution's perfect. Like everything has trade-offs. Safe isn't gonna like guarantee that everything is fine, but at least you're positioned better for some of these edge cases that we have seen have happened.
If I said, no, Adam, fuck you, I don't want to help you, then like you would have to do the 6-hour flight.
Right, which is not the end of the world. You say, no, I still have access. I set up multiple forms. I'm not relying on Tim completely.
My next thing that I wanted to dig into a little bit more is you talked about multi-factor authentication. You suggested this is one of the really good use cases to use Safe for. So if you were to recommend to an everyday Joe Schmo like me to start using Safe, what types of devices would you recommend to use as the multi-factor authenticators? You just see that.
Yeah, that was big. That was like the size of like a cat.
I caught that on footage.
Oh, that would have been good.
Which types of devices? How many devices? Is it like a 2 out of 3, 3 out of 5? Could you make a basic recommendation?
So I would start as simply as possible. It's your first time using a Safe. So like if you have a MetaMask or like Rainbow Wallet on your browser phone, I would just create a one-of-one Safe. So it literally means that you have one access or approval account, which would be a MetaMask account, say on your computer. And then just get comfortable using just like doing basic transactions, probably like on a smaller dollar amount, maybe just playing around with things that you're interested in. And then as you gain more comfort, the great thing about the Safe account is you can upgrade it. So you can add in, let's say you signed up on your computer with a MetaMask, you can add another device like a phone, you can get a device account. Ledger and Trezor are really popular. There's the ETHOS phone, which will be coming out later this year. So that looks really promising. Yeah, ETHOS. hopefully sponsoring the show at some point in the future. And then the other thing is just thinking about diversity of account types and devices. So like if I have, let's say, my phone and my computer as approval accounts and maybe like a recovery account, when they're all using one wallet type or account type, like they're all using MetaMask, then that kind of defeats the purpose of using a safe. So you might want to use MetaMask on your phone and then another wallet or account like Rainbow on your computer, and then maybe a hardware device account. So then you have 3 different account types. That's much more stronger diversity and security than using all the same account type. But yeah, typically what I've seen from like a lot of startups, I think most of them move to like a 3 of 5.
And that means like 3 devices needed in order to authorize or sign a transaction out of the 5 that has been added to a safe account.
Yeah,
Is that
so
correct?
there's 5 account owners or 5 approval accounts, and then 3 are required to approve any action, to finalize any action that happens
Gotcha.
on the safe.
Cool. Let's say I set up a safe account. Does that mean I'm depositing assets into a safe smart contract that represents my safe account?
Yeah, so Safe is a smart contract. Right now, there's about 100 billion worth of US dollars that are secured by the Safe smart contract. So like the core Safe team doesn't have any access to that at all. It's immutable code, which means it can't be changed or edited. So when Safe does have upgrades, a new version is published, and those who want to move to that can, but you're not forced to, and there's no way that like anyone can.
Okay, cool. We talked about social recovery as well. And do you have any recommendations for your everyday Joe Schmo user like me setting up a social recovery thing for my safe? Who should I engage with, and how many people? Is it also 2 of 3, 3 of 5 people? Is it mom? Is it dad? Is it my partner? Is it you? Or like should they know each other?
It's a rare mix of people who know a lot about crypto that you also trust and known for a long time. I would think about social recovery and just make sure that like the people you're adding are pretty comfortable just using like a normal crypto account. If someone has experience using like a MetaMask or any popular account, then they totally can manage performing transactions on a safe.
Right.
But yeah, I wouldn't rush one of your siblings or parents and just give them approval access if they're not familiar using it. But the really cool thing is there's lots of companies now and institutions that are providing that as a service. They have one approval account out of many. So like Signum, for example, they were part of the Safe Grants program we worked with last year. And I think it's a Switzerland-based bank, first bank that is working with Safe directly to have that as an option. And then of course, Casa has been around for a while.
Shout out Casa.
Originally as a multi-sig solution for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And now they are using Safe on the back end to provide the same services on Ethereum. So I think there's gonna be a lot of those. So it'll give you more options. Like if you don't have like a close friend or family member that's comfortable doing that yet, you'll have some options to have like hybrid custody strategy or some backups in place.
Lots of good options for social recovery, it seems like. Should these people that you select, I know Casa and Signum, obviously they won't know my mom and dad, but should the other people that you choose for your social recovery, should they know each other?
I think it really depends on kind of your preference in terms of like security. Because yeah, the advantage of approval accounts not knowing each other is just adds like another layer of security there. But yeah, there could be cases where you do want to let people know, especially because it makes coordinating recovery easier. So you just have to think through what your recovery plan is. Yeah, like if people have wills and like have instructions set up for like worst case scenarios, then yeah, that's something to definitely think about.
Is Safe free to set up?
So the really cool thing with Safe is it's completely free. The only thing that costs money is confirming and the transactions on the crypto network. So those fees on the crypto network have come down a lot in the past year. So depending on a market fee, so it fluctuates a lot. So it could be like a couple of dollars to set it up. And some networks too, Safe actually sponsors the setup, so it's actually free. But it shouldn't cost more than $5 to maybe $20 at the most, which like if you have even just a few $100 to $1,000, $20 to secure that and to have that option to upgrade in the future is worth it.
I guess like it really comes down to this question of how much is your security worth? And so, yeah. Cool. Well, thanks for answering all of the questions about Safe. I am certainly going to think about setting up a Safe now. Like you make it actually sound very easy to set up and quite intuitive. And like, why wouldn't I set something up with Safe versus just holding everything on one wallet or one hardware wallet? Thank you for the introduction. Did you have any final comments or final things you wanted to say about Safe?
Yeah, I'm just really excited about some of the upgrades that are coming the next few months, next year. So right now, Safe is a really good tool tool for Ethereum mainnet. But some of the upgrades are going to focus on making it seamless across all the networks out there. As people get advanced and explore some of these exciting new products that are launching, they'll be able to access those seamlessly from one place, but having all the customization, all the security, and it's all going to be with low transaction fees. So it's stuff that I'm really excited about, see develop and roll out.
Cool. What is that initiative called again?
It's called SAFEnet.
SAFEnet.
And yeah, I don't remember the domain, but I'm sure we can post it in the show links.
Put it in the show links. Man, that sounds so official. That's it. It's hot as a moth.
Should I buy this shirt, by the way?
I feel like you should.
It's a pretty slick shirt.
What is the audience
It's a
think?
dragon.
I feel like that fits you perfectly.
We might have to re-record.
I think you need to get that shirt. But yeah, it's hot as a moth up in here. We need to get back to the co-working space so I can enjoy some AC. You know how it is. Smash that like and subscribe button. Drop a comment. It means a lot to my channel. Oh shit, he's representing
DevCon.
DevCon was here in Bangkok a few months ago. All right, peace.